Don't be surprised if you see Austin native Nicole Perry's name on a voter's ballot in a few years.
There's a part of me that is interested in a very direct path into politics, in state or national legislatures.
Like others her age, Perry loves hitting milestones, like being old enough to drive. But getting involved in her community is what fuels her passion.
I need to be out doing things.
At just 15 years old, Perry has already immersed herself in many of the top issues affecting Texans, like voting rights and the reversal of Roe v. Wade.
As soon as I hear those kinds of news, I'm immediately looking for events or organizations because I feel like I need to be doing something.
I shouldn't have to be here right now. I should be at home watching a movie with my sister. It's summer.
She recently attended this hearing at the state capitol in the aftermath of the deadly Uvalde school shooting and heard tearful testimony from the sister of one of the 19 children killed by someone just 3 years older than she is.
This morning, around 5:30, I sat on my sister's bed and I cried.
And just hearing her talk about what it felt like to lose her sister, it's heartbreaking and it's so frustrating because it feels so preventable.
Is there a way to prevent tragedies like this in the future? That's something Perry has discussed with her friends at Ann Richards School for Young Women Leaders in Austin.
And then we just talk about how it feels like we're always hearing the story, that again and again we're hearing about students who are losing their lives because of gun violence, and how again and again we're just not seeing a response to that.
Perry tells me a big question among her classmates now is, do our elected officials really care if we live or die?
I've definitely heard some of my friends say it feels like they just don't care about our lives. It feels like they don't care about our safety and our well-being in schools.
More and more teens today say they don't feel safe and protected at school, and not just here in Texas. A large international study recently found that nearly 1 in 3 kids don't feel safe at school. That study, by researchers from a university in Finland, surveyed 21,000 kids between the ages of 13 and 15 in 13 European and Asian countries. Perry says every time another school shooting happens, she and her friends worry they'll be next.
A lot of it, that anger and that fear with your friends, is what's really coming out when you talk about it, and how scared you are that it's going to happen to you guys next.
They also wonder, when grown-ups search for solutions, why they don't talk to the kids.
A lot of people on the receiving end of gun violence are very young, but it still feels like so much of our voices just aren't being heard.
I feel like I'm somebody who is an ally with kids.
One of those who is listening is psychotherapist and registered play therapist Lauren Lohm.
I mean, I see primarily kids and teenagers. And so there's so many days that I came home and cried.
Even as therapists, to just have a moment where we can just be human, and just acknowledge that, hey, we feel it too. We're going through it as well. I think in some instances there's power there. Power and also hope.
When kids bring up things that they're feeling, it's easy to sit with a kid and say, yeah, that's so scary. I'm really nervous about that too. I wonder what we could do together right now to help our bodies feel better.
Lohm tells young people struggling to cope in the wake of a mass shooting 2 things.
They're not alone in their thoughts or their worries or their feelings about it. And number 2, there's a lot of people working to do things right now.
That's encouraging to Perry. She says she believes that meaningful change can happen, and she plans to be a part of it.
As long as we are all working together, as long as we keep pushing forward and hold on to that little bit of hope that I think we all still have, then we can accomplish these things as long as we just keep pushing.